Okay, let's discuss our movie notes for Direct from the Moon. There's about 1:30 minutes for an intro, and then the first section should be completed somewhere around 4:32 minutes. Right, the Kaguya satellite was launched by the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency on September 2007 to study the moon. Satellite travels at 60 miles above the moon. The satellite is about the size of a pickup truck, and it comes complete with 14 special devices. Some of these devices on board are a special camera, spectrometer, magnometer, and a plasma imager. The moon travels about 236,000 miles above the Earth. On to the next section. It'll be about 7:24 minutes. Now we're at the Sea of Rains is a smooth, dark plain with deep craters that are filled with lava, with dark lava. The far side of the moon has more craters and hardly any trace of dark lava. The moon's gravitational pull varies due to high and low density under the surface. The next section takes place between 724 and 1350. Uranium and other radioactive material are found on the near side of the moon, causing rock material to melt and erupt. Apollo 11's objective was to perform a manned lunar landing and return safely to Earth. It landed in the Sea of Tranquility on July 20th, 1969, documenting man's first steps. Neil Armstrong is quoted as saying these two phrases: "The eagle has wings." You should have concluded something like landing gear is down and detached. The eagle has landed. Landed as in it's there safely on the ground. One small step for man. One giant leap for mankind. In other words, simple step, but global ramifications, right? Magnificent desolation, an awe-inspiring emptiness. Okay, and then somewhere between there and the 16:38 mark, Apollo 11 had 2.5 hours to explore the moon's surface, which was noted as looking like gray, talcum-like powder. Apollo 12 landed in the Ocean of Storms on November 1969. Unlike Apollo 11, the astronauts had 8 hours to explore the surface. Apollo 13 never actually landed on the moon due to an oxygen tank explosion. After the aborted Apollo 13 mission, the Russians landed a rover on the surface of the moon in 1970, called the Lunar. It completed about 500 missions. In 1973, the Russians landed the Lunar 2. And yes, you can laugh at my interpretation of that word. I'm trying to make sure and verify it. All right, now on to the 16:38 mark to the 24-minute mark. Apollo 17 landed in the Valley of Taurus, Littrow, and it was there from December 7th through 19 of 1972. Dr. Harrison Schmitt found orange-colored soil that would go unidentified for 40 years. Astronauts gathered 1/2 of a ton of lunar rocks and soil from about 6 areas. Decades later, the orange rock was identified as being volcanic rock with water vapor particles. Okay, moving on to the 26 or 29-minute and 21-second mark. And here, remember that we're dealing with 1/6 of the gravity on the moon, right? Right, so December 14th, 1972 was the last day that men walked on the surface of the moon. They discovered the crater Tycho. It consists of 52-mile-wide terraced crater, which is deeper than the Grand Canyon. In the center of it is a peak that is about 8,000 feet tall. Its shape is similar to the one found on Earth near the Yucatan Peninsula, called the Chicxulub crater. Okay, and then I've got a little note here, something else just to kind of add in for you. The crater that they're talking about is about 2.5 miles deep. Debris is about 1,000 miles out from the crater. And they figure it was about a 6-mile wide asteroid. So yeah, that's pretty big. Okay, now from the 29-minute, 21-second mark to the 35-minute, 6-second mark, we're in this paragraph. To determine the age of craters, scientists compare the degradation of it to others nearby by measuring its width and depth. Scientists believe that asteroids collided with the moon, causing craters to form. A likely source for the asteroids is that Jupiter's orbit shifted, releasing asteroids towards Earth and the moon. Tests revealed that asteroids consist of iron, carbon, nitrogen, and water particles. When placed under immense pressure, scientists found some amino acids in the product. Okay, and on to this next paragraph here. Takes you up to about 46 minutes. For humans to live on the moon, we have to be able to provide water, a breathable atmosphere, and supply power. The living quarters must be able to protect astronauts against radiation, extreme temperatures, and meteorites. A place for building such living quarters that is being considered is Shackleton Crater, which is located on the south side of the moon. It is an optimal location because it receives a lot of sunlight for solar power. A point of concern about living on the moon is the unknown side effects from exposure to lunar dust. It has been analyzed to find that it is high in iron, and it is estimated that 45 to 50% of the moon's surface contains oxygen in multiple forms. Right? So they're going to have that source, which they talked about in the movie, and they discuss the way in which they would break apart the rock in order to extract the oxygen. Okay, see you guys in class. Bring your questions.